Good afternoon, folks. Just thought I'd do a quick update video of what I've been working on over these last couple of weeks. I've had this idea for a while about my Spanish succession armies. So originally I had them based individually because I used the Charles Grant rules. 28 figures per unit. You probably saw, if you've seen it in my other my battle reports, that I then broke them down for black powder into 14 man units, or 14 figure units. So I've thought about rebasing the army for a while now to put it more suited, I suppose, to the likes of black powder. I still plan to do an old style army, but I'm looking at possibly doing that in the 7 Years' War period rather than this period. I just wish somebody would make some plastics for 7 Years' War, but as yet there are none. So these armies I'm going to use for black powder, and I am possibly looking into Beneath the Lily Banner. I think that's the right, the correct rules, correct name of the rules. They look quite interesting as well. So all I've been doing is changing the units as such and rebasing them, so 4 figures per base to make them easier, and breaking them down into 18-man units. What this has entailed is obviously creating extra command figures. So now every unit, instead of my previous, when I broke the units down to 14-man figures, 14-man units, they only had one standard bearer. So these 18-man units on 4 to a base have 2 standard bearers per unit. So it's meant making more command figures. I'm about halfway through it at the moment. This is what I've done so far. It's also meant that I've had to repaint certain units. My previous armies were a mix of historical units and imaginations units. I've now made them as historical as I can for this army, or for these 2 armies now. So there's a lot more greys, not purple jackets and the likes. So some of them had to be repainted, and to be honest, they repainted quite easily. I was a bit worried about, obviously, putting a grey coat over an original purple coat, but no, they painted quite easily, and some were quite easy to convert to other nations as well. For instance, if we see that unit there, which is now a Irish battalion in French service, was originally a half battalion of a British regiment. I think it was might have been the 10th Foot. There's the other half of the unit there, which is the British unit, or English unit. So all that meant was just making some more command figures, and obviously adding some extra flags. In the box sets you do get a number of flags that you can use, and these 2 for the Clare Regiment, I think it is, Clare Battalion, are in that set. So I wanted more grey and white, so more French line units than I had before. I actually only had 1 grey unit of 28 figures. So some of these have been painted from the original purple coats or green coats to represent French battalions. I'll just put the tripod down for a second, make it a bit more stable. There we go. So yeah, so for instance, this unit here was actually, I'm just looking under it because you can just see the colour a little bit underneath. Don't know if you can see that. I'll zoom in very well. Let's try it. So the tripod's a bit unsteady considering it's a tripod. Right, okay, let's try that again. So it just doesn't want to zoom in. No, it's not. But underneath there you can just about see the original green coat. So they were just painted with a grey coat, blue cuffs, and the hat lace was originally white. I changed that to yellow. And again, adding some extra flags, or different regiment flags. Can't remember exactly what these regiments are. I will have to write them on the bases at some point. So we got 3 well, 4 French units there, excuse me, and even one in white there as well, because they were in grey and white, so, and it's not entirely known for some regiments in particular whether they had grey coats or whether they had white coats, or mostly grey coats fading white. So that's the French at the moment. They've rebased the artillery, added a couple of barrels of shot on that base. Rebased some of the commanders, just 2 there. I do plan on getting the Marlborough figure from Warlord Games at some point, because it looks a very nice figure for the main commander for the British Allied force. This is the British Allied, so we've got a Dutch brigade now. So it's a full Dutch brigade of 3 battalions now. Got one in one in white, one in grey, and one in red. These flags here are the ones that you get in the pack, or in the box set. These 2 I think I bought some time ago from Flags of War. And then you've got the British English brigade over there, or British I suppose, because 2 of the regiments are actually Scottish. So I'm going to base my cavalry for, well, each squadron is going to be 1 base, because they tended to fight in squadrons rather than regiments. So you could have a unit that is 2 squadrons, 3 squadrons, 4 squadrons, as many as 5 squadrons I believe, and possibly a little bit more. So that will be a small unit of 2 squadrons, with my standard unit being 3 to 4 squadrons. So that's it. Yeah, like I say, I'm about halfway through. It's been a little bit challenging to get it done. When I first came up with the idea, I thought, oh yeah, it'll be dead easy, just rebasing some figures. But anyone who's rebased an army knows that it's not that easy. It takes some time and quite a bit of effort. But I'm liking how it's looking at the moment. So I should be able to. I've got about, well, for both armies, another 4 or 5 battalions. I need to get a lot more cavalry painted. I've always been lacking in cavalry, but I do have some lying around unpainted. So once I've rebased everything, I'll be concentrating on the cavalry. Like I said, these are going to be for the black powder rules, or beneath the lily banners. Once I've looked into those, and I will look at doing a 7 Years War project for my Charles Grant rules in the future. So that's it, just a quick update of what I've been working on. Hope you're all safe and all well, and hopefully this pandemic will be behind us one day, and we can all return to the clubs in the near future. Okay, take care.